What it is, people, we is back. And we got some breaking news. Breaking news. Just hit the news probably 10 minutes ago. Harvey Weinstein New York case has been overturned by the Supreme Court. Overturned. And what it sound like is a lot of people is not even surprised. That is crazy. Considering what happened when he got locked up and how they blew this whole thing up. It's even some what you call them people. What it is, man, hit that like button. It's even some experts saying that he should have never been charged. That is wild. So let me read to y'all what they saying, man. We read to y'all what they saying. Yo, what it is, hit that like button. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein New York case is overturned. Just hit the news 12:27. Was gonna do a video on it, but I said nah. Oh yeah, what the hell? It says the court ruled that Mr. Weinstein, the disgraced Hollywood producer whose sexual abuse case sparked the Me Too movement, did not receive a fair trial. Manhattan prosecutors vowed to retry him. Y'all remember this was a huge case, man, because he did some wild things. You know, he was the guy that had the double locked doors. You know, when actors was coming into his office, he was locking them in there and doing all type of ill shit. Yeah, this yo. New York's highest court on Thursday overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 conviction on felony sex crimes, a staggering reversal in the foundational case of the Me Too era. In a 4-3 decision, the New York Courts of Appeals found that the trial judge who presided over Mr. Weinstein's case, Justice James M. Burke, had made a crucial mistake, allowing prosecutors to call as witnesses a series of women who said Mr. Weinstein had assaulted them, but whose accusations were not a part of the charges against them. That's definitely illegal. See, that says so much to me though, yo. Like, how do you allow that? How do you allow that? Like this is a trial judge. He knew you can't allow that type of evidence in court. You know you can't allow that type of evidence in court. So what was really going on? Did they really just want to convict him? You know, because the era we was in, y'all remember the Me Too movement era? That was a wild era, man. So citing this, hold on. Citing that decision and others it identified as errors, the appeals court determined that Mr. Weinstein, who as a movie producer had been one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, had not received a fair trial. The ruling does not mean Mr. Weinstein, 72, is being held in semi-protective custody in an upstate New York prison. What the hell is semi-protective custody? Is a free man. He was also sentenced in 2020 to 16 years in prison in California after he was convicted of R-ing a woman in Beverly Hills Hotel. And he will now be sent to California to continue his sentence on a conviction there, according to the spokesman. So he was in the feds. Now he must be sending him to a state joint, but he only got 16 years in the state. He probably gonna get that back too. But it seems like this is what they do to these guys. The same thing they did to Bill Cosby. They railroad them, then send them back home. They make up these allegations, railroad them, then send them home after a few years in prison. When reached by phone, Arthur Adelia, Mr. Weinstein's lawyer, praised the appeals court for upholding the most basic principles that a criminal defendant should have at trial. In a statement, a spokesman for Manhattan District Attorney's Office said, "We will do everything in our power to retry this case and remain steadfast in our commitment to survivors of the sexual assault." They ain't retrying this case. They're a goddamn lie. Mr. Weinstein was accused of sexual misconduct by more than 100 women in New York. I think he got 30 years in New York. So he caught more time in New York than he even caught in California. He was convicted in 2020 of assaulting 2 of them. Thursday's appeals court decision underscores the legal system's difficulty in delivering redress to those who say they have been the victim of sex crimes. The decision was disappointing for Mr. Weinstein accusers and supporters of the Me Too movement. Jane Manning, the director of Women Equal Rights Justice Project, called it a shocking and disheartening day for survivors of sexual assault, and said it shows how much more work we have to do to bring the ideals of the Me Too movement forward. Justice Anthony Concharo wrote that additional witness known as Malaxu, I don't know what that shit means, presented by the prosecution were vital to show Mr. Weinstein pattern of manipulation and coercion. Cyrus R. Vance Jr., the former Manhattan District Attorney who oversaw the investigation and prosecution of Mr. Weinstein, said in a statement that this was deeply grateful to be This was deeply grateful to and humbled by the survivors who came forward in the brightest glare of a public courtroom to tell their stories of a great personal cost and trauma. Mr. Weinstein, who has diabetes, eye problems, and heart issues, has used a walker in prison and was housed in the medical unit at a Mohawk Correctional Facility in Syracuse, New York, according to Judah, whatever her name is. He's been at a hospital for the eye issue, the spokesman said. He's been going through bouts of difficulty. Yep, that's where we at with it, man. Harvey Weinstein case overturned. Let's see if we can find something else on it. I think he caught 30 years in New York. Let me go back to that article. He caught 30 years or 40. I think he either caught 30 or 40 in New York. And he caught 16 in California. So now all he facing is the 16. All he got is the 16 in California. That was 2020. Here's a timeline of a New York case. So they let all these witnesses come to court and testify that shouldn't have been allowed to testify. That's crazy. Yeah, y'all, that's crazy, y'all. Prince George, what it is. They just did it. They just did it. Like, soon it's gonna be all over the media outlets. I'm probably just the first one to hop on it because I don't know, that shit came straight to my phone. Like, soon as it dropped. Yeah, they just did it. The first article was updated 4 minutes ago. All right, so this is the timeline of the case. Started in March 27, 2015. Prosecutors in Manhattan declined to prosecute Harvey Weinstein after a Filipino-Italian model, Abra, I remember she's the one doing interviews, tells the police that Mr. Weinstein groped her breast and slid his hand up her skirt during a business meeting at his office in Manhattan. The Manhattan District Attorney at the time, Cyrus R. Vance Jr., reaches the decision despite a secret recording obtained. Oh yeah, y'all remember that recording came out? Can be heard apologizing and often would seem like an admission. Yo, that's crazy, yo. Why didn't they see this? I'm saying, why didn't they just take the witnesses to court that accused that they could have used? Like, why they glamorized this case, made it this big old deal, had 100 girls. Y'all remember his court case? Man, that shit was crazy, man. You had 1 million people outside that courtroom, all accusers. They let all them women testify, but in reality, he was only on trial for 2 of them. Why the fuck did they do that? Like, yo, this is what I be mean about this system, yo. They knew that was wrong, so why did they allow it? They knew this was going to get overturned. So what was the point of the conviction to begin with? October 5th, 2017, investigation by the New York Times and the New Yorker reveals accusation that Mr. Weinstein mistreated women and that his company covered it up. Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York orders a review of the decision not to charge Mr. Weinstein in 2015, calling Mr. Vance's decision-making into question. Andrew Cuomo gone now. Remember, he got caught up in some allegations his damn self. Mr. Vance assigns a new prosecutor to lead the investigation. May 25th, 2018, Mr. Weinstein surrenders to the police after being indicted on charges of R in criminal sexual acts. The R charge stems from alleged assault on aspiring actress Jessica Mann at a Manhattan hotel in 2013. The criminal sex act charge involves Lucia Evans, a marketing executive who told investigators that Mr. Weinstein forced her to perform blank on him during a personal meeting in the office in 2004. See, the problem was with this case is that a lot of these accusers, though they saying he argued them and things like that, they also admitted that they had consensual relations as well. So how does that work? I don't know. Prosecutors added charges against Mr. Weinstein related to accusations that he forced oral on Miriam Haley, a former production assistant on the television show Project Runway in his Manhattan apartment in July 2006. October 11, 2018, a judge dismissed the forcible or X charges against Mr. Weinstein involving Ms. Evans after prosecutors acknowledged that the lead detective in the case withheld pertinent information that a witness had cast doubt on Ms. Evans' account. I wish I'd have read all this shit back then. Prosecutors obtained a new indictment against Mr. Weinstein, allowing them to call witnesses Annabelle, whatever her last name is, an actress who said that Mr. Weinstein awed her at his Manhattan apartment in 1993 or 1994. So she didn't even know when it happened. Mr. Weinstein is indicted in Los Angeles, where he is accused of awing one woman and groping and crazy in front of a second within 2 days in February 2013. The California charges are filed the same day that the legal parties in Mr. Weinstein's New York trial first gathered in Manhattan to discuss jury selection and other legal matters. So that sounds strange to me. They knew that New York case was going to get overturned. That's why the same day they was doing jury selection in New York, they was charging them in California. After a month-long trial in which they heard testimony from Miss Sakura, Miss Haley, and Miss Mann, among other people, jurors in New York began deliberation. The jury, consisting of 5 men and 7 women, finds Mr. Weinstein guilty of R and criminal acts, but acquits him on 3 other counts, including 2 of the most serious charges against him, being a sexual predator. Mr. Weinstein, in March 11, 2020, Mr. Weinstein is sentenced to 23 years in prison for his first stop in New York's penal system, is the notorious Rikers Island Complex Jail. All right, so he was going to state. In April, this is all 2020, prosecutors in California added charge against Mr. Weinstein, alleging that he committed an assault at a Beverly Hills motel in May 2010. 2021. Mr. Weinstein appeals his New York conviction, saying several women who had accused him of sexual assault should not have been allowed to testify. So he been appealed this. He appealed this immediately. When he got convicted, he got sentenced in March. By April of that next year, he'd already appealed it. In June 2022, a New York Superior Court upheld Ms. Weinstein's 2020 conviction on felony sex crimes in a unanimous decision. So he lost the appeal the first time. After the trial that began in October 2022, jurors in Los Angeles returned a mixed verdict, finding Mr. Weinstein guilty of arming and sexual assault in the actions in 2013, but not guilty of one of the other charges. They were unable to reach a decision on 3 additional counts. 2023, February. Mr. Weinstein is sentenced to 16 years in prison in Los Angeles, with that prison term to begin after he served his time in New York. So he got a fresh 16. Yeah, he's still gonna die in prison. He got a fresh 16. And this system wild, yo. Yo, this sound like to me what they did to him. What they did to him. This Los Angeles case was just backup. You know, just in case the New York one fall through, we gotta have one. We know this New York case is flimsy, so we gonna have to charge him in L.A. You know what I mean? Just in case, and that's what the fuck they did. So now he got a fresh 16 in L.A. He got there. April 25th, New York Supreme Court overturns the 2020 conviction, ruling that Mr. Weinstein was not tried solely on the crimes he was charged with, but instead for much of his past behavior. Let's see. Let's go to the news. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all not, man. Let's go to YouTube.
I created the Master Mentors Live educational platform to train, prepare, and mentor.
Yeah, you're going to be asked about this Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction from the landmark Me Too trial, written by Michael Sissick with the AP. New York's highest court.
Like they probably reading what I just read. Hold up, let's see if they got some like extensive coverage on it. Look, somebody saying it's unbelievable. That shit ain't unbelievable. If you knew the evidence, they should never been charged with that shit. Make you question what was it all about.
Breaking news, New York's Court of Appeals has just overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 conviction on felony sex crime charges. This case
It sounds like that's what they do.
Me Too movement. According to the New York Times, the court found the judge made a mistake by allowing prosecutors to call witnesses who were not a part of the case. These women accused Weinstein of assaulting them, but those accusations were not part of the charges against him. The appeals court determined Weinstein did not receive a fair trial because of this. Now, this does not mean Weinstein is now out of jail. Manhattan's district attorney could seek a retrial, and Weinstein is still in prison after he was convicted of raping a woman in a Beverly Hills.
Hey, I don't know, y'all. That. It looked like to me he shouldn't have been charged. That's what this case looked like to me. He should have never been charged. But I just wanted to give y'all that news for real, man. Let me get back to my regular scheduled program. Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all not. Hit that like button. But that's the breaking news. Weinstein case overturned. Supreme Court decision 4-3. They allowed witnesses to testify for crimes that he wasn't even accused of, which is crazy. But they got the backup case in California because that's where he committed crimes there too. Man, suit to Pittsburgh, man. Straight up, man. The motherfucking Berg, man. I was just looking at a story in the Berg about a car chase that happened while it was in Erie. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm out, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.